We've covered a lot of ground, and the full effects of our tightening have yet to be felt. Today, we decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Looking ahead, nearly all committee participants view it as likely that some further rate increases will be appropriate this year to bring inflation down to 2% over time. I still think, and my colleagues agree, that the risks to inflation are to the upside still. We're talking about a couple years out. I think, as anyone can see, not a single person on the committee wrote down a rate cut this year, nor do I think it is at all likely to be appropriate if you think about it. Inflation has not really moved down. It has not so far reacted much to our existing rate hikes.
What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, Bitcoin has had a wild few hours. You could see we actually fell all the way down to about $24,700. We tried to come back up. We are finding that this support is acting as resistance. Now, why did this happen? Because if we actually have a look at what happened when the FOMC meeting came out, yeah, you saw stocks, they rolled over a little bit, but then they actually ended up putting in higher highs, right? So what is going on with that? Well, the thing is Powell came out and said that this is technically a short-term pause, but they could raise rates again in the future, and that majority of the committee said that that's what they wanted to do. Now, just to point this out before we get to the Bitcoin chart, that would be the first time in U.S. history that that's ever happened, that they actually paused and then decided to continue later on down the road raising rates again, right? Usually they just pause and they just stay flat at that level. But, you know, obviously this time could be different. Now, having a look at Bitcoin right here, you can see that Bitcoin did touch both of our very critical levels. We touched the bottom of this upward sloping trend, and we touched the bottom of this legacy resistance, hopefully flipping into support right now. So there are these two sort of intersecting lines that are holding Bitcoin right here, but it is very critical because if we do break these levels, then we are going to fall to some of these lower targets. Now, not to get all doom and gloom, there is actually something that flashed on the Bitcoin chart that is typically bullish. So can we believe it with everything that's going on right now? Well, we do have big news. I'm sure you've already heard about BlackRock. They are looking for a Bitcoin spot ETF, although there may actually be some confusion about that. But on the back end, I will say there is something with the SEC going on right now that seems quite fishy, among other things, clearly. And I want to tell you exactly what that is because we can't ignore it. And unfortunately, my friends, Binance is yet again under more fire, this time from Netherlands and France, and more FUD even came out this morning. And there is some other concerns about exchanges as well. But on the good news, we do have another pro-Bitcoin candidate for presidency. So we're getting into all that. If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, let's dive in. Let's have a look. So again, as I said, we'd been saying, you know, it's actually, it's actually crazy how well these very, very simple parallel channels work out, you know, right here and right here. And we knew from a long time ago that we had discussed, as soon as we came up here, we said that might be the point where, you know, if you did have a long or something, you know, maybe take some off the table, because I had said, and keep in mind, this was weeks ago, this was actually almost 2 months ago, and people thought it was kind of a crazy idea, you know, to come back down to this 25.3. Well, lo and behold, we did in fact touch it. We actually fell below it. And what we did do was we also intersected with this upward sloping trend. So we have support here and support here as well. So that actually is good that Bitcoin is holding these levels, but it's also concerning because we have fallen below the ribbon, and you can see that the ribbon, you see this yellow line, it looks like it's starting to curve downwards. Now, that's something that we don't want to see as far as Bitcoin is concerned, right? You can see just on this basic parallel upwards trend, we did lose it. Right here, though, we have managed to get back at least up to this major one, which is what I just spoke about. So it's not like everything is great right now. It could be better. We are still being held down below this major moving average. So we can't keep having resistance. You want to get Bitcoin above 26,512. Because if not, like I said, you do risk falling back down again to this major support. Now, we have discussed the fact that, you know, you could say there's a head and shoulders pattern that's playing out. I'm not really a huge fan on head and shoulders. I mean, you can find them really anywhere. You know, if you look hard enough, you know, you could even say maybe this was a little mini one. I don't know. You know, for the most part, I just really look at levels. I look at previous resistance supports. We do look at a few of the indicators on the channel. So if you do use Market Cipher, which if you are trading, it is a very good tool for not only beginners, but also advanced. I always like to use that along with Wave Edge. And you can see down here that we did get this green dot. Now these green dots, they're not like the be all end all, sometimes they are fake outs, but historically they tend to signal at least a continuation. You could see when we got the confirmation of this signal right here, Bitcoin pumped roughly, 41%. So could that happen again? It is a little bit different this time. The RSIs were different. The money flow was different. But nevertheless, we did get the appropriate scenario to get that signal. So again, if you guys do want to learn how to trade, make sure you guys watch all of my free tutorials. There's $56,000 in bonuses. Check that out above and below. There are a lot of people, though, that are very scared to trade right now. In fact, you've seen a lot of altcoins just sliding off of a cliff, a lot of altcoin interest backed, right? They delisted more. But again, this is the ultimate uptrend and this is the ultimate support. So like I said, my worst case scenario for Bitcoin, and I don't care what's going on in the news, unless it's like, World War III, everybody's like fighting or something. I don't think you're going to see Bitcoin go below 18,800, but that's like my worst case scenario. There is a possibility that we just hang out where we are right now. Again, getting back to the altcoins, Bitcoin dominance hasn't been this high since back here in April of 2021. So, this is showing that a lot of money is flowing out of altcoins and into Bitcoin amid the regulatory uncertainty. And having a look at, just because I like to look at the stocks as well, the stocks did continue to break this upwards channel. And you can see right here that even though thus far we are having a red day, we are using so far, we are using this resistance right here as support. But, obviously we're heading into the weekend and anything can happen. So let's talk about the news. What is going on? So $10 trillion BlackRock officially files for a spot Bitcoin ETF. The investment company is the world's largest, and it would be the first crypto spot ETF in the US if it receives approval. According to a filing by the NASDAQ Stock Exchange with the US SEC, sorry guys, I'm getting a message over here. With the US SEC, Coinbase Custody Trust Company would be the custodian of the fund's Bitcoin holding, and Bank of New York Mellon would custody its fiat. Very interesting, though, considering that the SEC is currently actively going against Coinbase. Coinbase would be the custody, just something to keep on the back end. The shares have been designed to remove the obstacles represented by the complexities and operational burdens involved in a direct investment in Bitcoin. Now, Eric Belchunas says, fun fact, BlackRock's record of getting ETFs approved by the SEC is 575 to 1. That's right. They've only ever not been approved one time, and it was for this thing down here. I don't know. You could see new breed of, I don't know. But basically, they have a really, really, really good track record, right? Now, I'm hearing some discrepancies. Of course, I only know what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. Some people are saying that it's not an ETF. They're saying that it's actually a trust, and everybody's getting this all wrong. So if you just do a simple comparison on Google, verbatim, ETFs and investment trusts are investment vehicles that can help investors diversify their portfolio and potentially earn a good return over time. So ETFs are open-ended and often passively managed, okay? While investment trusts are closed-ended and actively managed. So, I don't know. It sounds to me like there is clearly a difference. Now the question is, we know BlackRock, we know their influence, we know that they've been buying MicroStrategy, whatever. Does the SEC know something that we don't? Because BlackRock, they kind of have their hands in everything, and they're one of the most powerful asset managers. In fact, I wouldn't even just say they're an asset manager. I would say that they have very strong influence in many aspects, okay? Politically, geographically. So, maybe they're seeing that they could control it better. I know some people are rooting for this, but maybe what they're trying to do is choke it off and make BlackRock like the be-all, end-all. Who knows? But something else that's really strange, very concerning, is like Tyler Winklevoss says, listen to this, the SEC has chosen to sue Gemini, Coinbase, and Kraken for not complying with security laws, and yet at the same time has approved Prometheum Incorporated, which I have not even heard of these until the financial, I just heard of these guys for the first time in the meeting that they had the other day. Here are some interesting highlights, by the way, that set Prometheum apart. They failed to launch a product in 6 years. They hired multiple former SEC and FINRA staff, read Gary Gensler and Senator Warren talking points from a script at a congressional hearing, hired a chief technology officer who is an independent contractor consultant with zero internet presence who lives in the Isle of Man. And that, folks, has made all the difference. You come over here to Prometheum, I mean, who are these guys? Building the world's first SEC and FINRA registered full service market for digital asset securities, issuance, trading, clearing, settlement, and custody. So they've joined in November 20. They've been around for a while. What have they been doing? They're based out of New York. That should probably be a bit of a red flag right there. And 2,448 followers, and they have nothing to show since 2017. But yet they got approved. You don't see how crazy and backwards and corrupt and insider this is? This is not about your safety. This is not about protecting the investor. This is about control. This is about getting all our buddies and friends on the inside to do the biddings so we can have that control. And of course, yeah, it might work in the US, maybe. It's not going to work globally. You know, I mean, like literally, this is basically this is as good as the SEC is protecting investors, as much as this guy right here is actually working. I don't even know what he's doing. He's air mechanicking. I don't know. So, you know, getting back to the FUD, which feels like every time I open my laptop or phone, that's all there is FUD. So apparently France investigates Binance for money laundering as Netherlands shut the door on the exchange. The latest news comes from French daily newspaper Le Monde. I probably said that wrong, Le Monde. And the announcement, because I don't speak French, obviously. And the announcement comes shortly after Binance said that it would be leaving the Netherlands because it has been unable to secure a license demonstrating that the firm complies with the AML rules. Additionally, the exchange has submitted an application to terminate its registration with Cyprus's security regulator, citing that it was concentrating on fewer regulated entities in the EU. So again, you know, CZ comes out, they clarify it, FUD. In France, he says, surprise, no advance notice on-site inspections of regulated businesses are the normal for banks and for crypto as well. The surprise visit for Binance France happened a couple of weeks ago. It's not news. Binance France cooperated fully. Binance also isn't the only crypto business inspected. This happened to other well-known crypto businesses in Paris too. Binance France continues to be our flagship in Europe. But then, you know, well, let me get to this in a minute. But then you're getting another report that says that they've found themselves in hot water in France. So they're saying that there's severe lapses in its money laundering protocols. According to CoinDesk, the Paris public prosecutor has confirmed this development, escalating legal troubles for Binance. The allegations stem from two main charges. The company is accused of operating as a digital asset provider unlawfully, and it faces more severe accusations of aggregated money laundering. So I'm not really sure who to believe here. I don't know what source is the truth here. I mean, obviously there's something going on. It says Binance is currently registered as a P-standard digital asset service provider with the French financial watchdog. Okay, so that's something, right? I don't know. And then in other breaking news, of course, this is just from a group chat. KuCoin was down. Somebody says, joke, it's over. And then someone says 10 minutes ago, I deposited 20 USDT on Bitpanda. As soon as it deposited, I got a red alert top right that said legal rights revoked, and I got logged out. What is going on, guys? What is going on right now? I don't know. Are all the exchanges imploding? Are they next after the banking crisis? Who knows? But again, you know, at the end of the day, you know, this is why I get a lot of backlash on this channel. Really, people, a lot of flack. They're like, why don't you talk more about altcoins? Why don't you talk more about NFTs? It's really just because, for the most part, a lot of the crypto, most people know. I mean, if you're investing in a meme coin, you kind of know what you're getting involved in. But a lot of them don't really actually have utility. I mean, if you look at what most people tend to use realistically, that I speak to, it's Bitcoin. It's the Ethereum network in general. That's where most of these tokens are. Stable coins, right? And then I see some people using a few other networks, you know, maybe like using Solana or, you know, BNB, Pancake Swap, something like that. But really, the majority is just hardcore speculation. And, you know, I don't want people to get hurt. I mean, you can get hurt trading Bitcoin alone. You know what I mean? You can get hurt holding a stable coin. I mean, we've seen stable coins crash 97%. So again, you know, I can't stress it enough. If you are not actively trading, I recommend that you put your crypto on a hardware wallet, or if you want to put it on something like MetaMask or something like that, then use a decentralized way of trading, where you're not trusting a third party. So I do have all that information below. And again, check out Apex because it's decentralized and you don't have to worry about that risk of giving your money to someone, putting it on an exchange and all this other stuff, right? So again, don't trade out of your geographical region, you guys know. But I do just want to end on a good note. I don't know if you saw this, but Mayor Suarez, who has taken paychecks in Bitcoin and did give the opening speech at the original Bitcoin Miami conference and is a pro-Bitcoin advocate, is now in fact literally in this ad running actually. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Let me know what you think. Is the BlackRock news actually good news? What is going on with Prometheum? What's really happening in the background? The truth will eventually set everyone free, except for Gary. Probably do the opposite for him. But that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure you get subscribed. Stay up to date for all of these alerts. I have a feeling things are going to be getting pretty crazy pretty soon. So that's it for me. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. If you do want to learn to trade, check out the tutorial, Decentralized Trading, above. Quite easy if you use Bybit. Very easy to use. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.